Hello, this is Fear Dragon coming at you with another StarCraft 2 netcast. Today we have game number 3 between these two players from the Dreamhack Valencia quarterfinals. If you have not seen game number 1 or game number 2, go ahead and click the annotations below, and you should go check those out because they were pretty awesome games, and you don't want to miss the epic conclusion to the series. Let's go ahead and jump into it and introduce these players. Spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner of Cloud Kingdom, we have the Blue Zerg representing Team Millennium. He lost that last game, but he is still tied up 1-1. He's known as the Korean Killer. His name is EGStephano. We're going to see what his plan is in this game to take it back and win the series against his teammate. Spawning up here in the top right-hand corner of Cloud Kingdom as the Red Terran player. Again, tied up 1-1. Went for a very interesting build that last game, but after taking a substantial amount of damage, somehow managed a complete comeback with some insane Banshee and Hellion harassment and aggression. We're going to see what he's going to end up doing in this game, and if he's going to take it to the late game or try and go for that early game kill. His name is MilleniumForGG. Now, both of these players very strong, as we have seen in the past 2 games. And EGStephano, I'm going to go ahead and send out that early drone scout, get an idea of what 4GG is up to, as he might want to be a little bit aware, like, okay, is my opponent, this is my teammate, so he knows a bit about my playstyle. Is he going to go ahead and do something super cheesy or what? But of course, he does see that this Terran is just going to go ahead and try and get out that command center, and there it does go down. Not that it's a huge deal that it goes down immediately over here, or it could be one space off, and it doesn't really matter. Just lift it up and float on over, but we do see that hatchery first coming out of EGStephano. We're going to have to wait and see if he's going to take these gas geysers again and go for some kind of big roach aggression again. You know, if there's anyone who you might have to be a little bit careful about, it's EGStephano for certain, as you know, is very much has a reputation for being not just relaxed and laid back, but you know, he just sometimes it comes off as if he doesn't care. But of course, I assure you, he does. As he's a very strong player, and nobody gets to be that strong of a player without caring about this game. Now, of course, we do see the barracks coming out for 4GG, kind of a necessary component if you ever want to stay alive at any point whatsoever in the game. And a bit of a late GLHF from EGStephano, realizing, hey, we actually haven't said anything. But in the meanwhile, this drone going to go ahead and happily return those minerals to its newly completed best friend of an expansion. And of course, we see no gas geysers taken out from EGStephano, so we might be seeing a similar build style from game number 1, where he went ahead and grabbed 2 fast gas geysers, either over by the natural, or at least 2 gas geysers in general somewhere, and then got out that Roach Horn to defend it against any kind of aggression that 4GG might go for. As I believe that EGStephano ended up doing that last time without really getting a huge scout off on exactly what his opponent was up to. But no, we do see he is droning up quite a bit, and doesn't really look like he's going to be throwing down those 2 gas geysers for now. So, gonna wait and see how big EGStephano is gonna power up that economy before he does anything. And of course, at the same time, we do see Reactor Hellions going to be coming out of 4GG, so definitely going to be looking to do a little bit of aggression, and wouldn't be too surprised to see those starport drop down somewhere around over here. While that barracks goes ahead and builds a tech lab, the barracks will go ahead and build a tech lab somewhere like over here or something. There it is, the tech lab going down, and of course the swap over to the reactor, so we can go ahead and produce those Reactor Hellions. So good, and actually kind of interesting, 4GG not even opting to get a single Marine. So I guess EGStephano gets away with this Overlord very happily and sees everything, and even sees exactly what this command center is up to, I suppose. Doesn't actually see a whole lot, but he does actually end up seeing that factory. That's definitely going to be a big tell, and you know, he would have seen it right around now anyways. But of course, EGStephano definitely going to be prepared for this, as we do end up seeing that spawning pool is already completed, and those 2 gas guys are actually being taken, as well as these 2 gas guys. So very interesting. We're going to see some very tech-heavy play coming out of EGStephano very soon. Now, he does have a couple of queens out, doesn't have any kind of big wall off going along over here that's going to help him defend off these Hellions, but these 2 queens should be able to do a pretty decent amount of blocking, I should say. against 4GG's Hellions. Then we do see the Hellions just kind of scouting around, seeing, hey, how's my opponent taking a fast third? If he does, then I need to put on some kind of big aggression over there. But since he hasn't, we're going to go ahead and see how much damage we can do with these Hellions. And the Hellions are going to go ahead and run straight over to the natural, immediately roasting 2 drones. But oh my god, this is so many queens. A very kind of older style that has fallen a little bit out of style now is going for these large number of 6 queens. And now he's definitely going to be able to fend off all this aggression, but of course he is forcing Stephano to pull all of these drones off of mining, and he's definitely going to be able to do a little bit of damage in that sense, but of course he's going to end up losing both of these elements. In the meanwhile, of course, the Banshee is going to be following up soon afterwards, and actually a couple of additional Hellions getting a couple of really good kills. Oh my god, we can see 8 workers killed total, so you know, for the price of, say, I think it was 8, maybe 10 Hellions, you know, it's not too bad. I believe it's just 8, and oh my god, a nice little attempt to surround that Hellion, but does not end up getting it. Now we do see the Banshee should be making its way over to the natural expansion. This Hellion going to do as much damage as it can, but of course I think that it's pretty much done its damage as much as it could. And now we do see the Banshee coming in with the Cloak actually finished and is going to be racking up those kills, already up to 3 kills. You can get maybe 1 or 2 more, that'll definitely be worth it, even if it ends up losing this Banshee immediately. But he has been doing a fantastic job. Look at this, he is forcing Stephano to be late on things like these injects. He has to pull all of his queens over, and now we just see this Banshee is going to get chased away, but I mean, there's no Overseer on the way just quite yet. The Overseer is over here, way over there. He's not going to be able to catch up to this Banshee, and now we do see the Banshee safely retreating home with 5 kills. Very, very much worth it. We even see a couple of additional Banshees coming out. Some Zerglings poking into the natural expansion of 4GG, and we can see he's actually starting to build in a couple of those Marines and actually going for a transition into that barracks play. So a nice little transition. It's going to be very interesting to see how Stephano deals with it. Now I do imagine that he will very soon swap the Starport over onto that factory and just start getting out some of those medevacs, considering he is going for that biocentric style of play and just using a couple of these Banshees to do as much damage as possible. We do see this Banshee actually going back in, not able to do a whole lot of damage on that one, but this one able to rack up 1 additional kill. So definitely nice for him. He's going to go ahead and retreat, regain back some of this energy and retreat, and I guess recuperate. No, that's not the best word for it. He's gonna chill. He's gonna chill with his newfound 3rd best buddy. These are gonna be the 3 Banshees, and they're gonna see how much damage they can do and just continue to pressure on Stephano. And Stephano does still have this overloader here. It's gonna be very useful to see the gas timing out of 4GG, so it kind of might have an idea saying, well, this late into all of this, you know, my opponent probably isn't actually going to be going for some kind of big mech style of play. Consider, and this, of course, is going to be the biggest tell. Seeing those medevacs and those Marines is definitely going to know, hey, my opponent's kind of transitioned out of that. And we do see these Banshees actually coming in, seeing if they can do it, cancel on the 3rd, but it looks like the Queen's a bit too much, and especially with that transfuse, they're going to be able to fend off those Banshees. Those Banshees want to stay alive as long as possible and do as much of a late game harassment as possible. In the meanwhile, the 3rd Terran Command Center for 4GG is going to be finishing up pretty soon, so you can go ahead and get that out. And in the meanwhile, starting that tank production, getting those Marines out, transitioning into that, once again, very standard biocentric play. We do actually do a couple of Hellions that are doing a little bit of harassment down over here, able to roast quite a few of those Zerglings over here. And oh my god, he's actually able to get quite a few more, but the Infestor actually comes out with a fungal growth, able to even clean up a lot of those Banshees. Oh my god, did he actually get every single Banshee? I don't think there are any more Banshees left. So wow, a really great job from Stephano with those fungal growths, able to clean up a large portion of that Hellion harassment and the Banshee harassment force from 4GG, and that's definitely going to cut down a lot on 4GG's ability to have that map control. Those Banshees definitely helped out a lot of the map control, just because, you know, Stephano only really had the anti-air of those Infestors, and now with those Infestors having to stay at home and these Hellions actually even getting picked off, man, Stephano's just going to have full, complete map control as 4GG is just going to have to sit back, build up that tank count, get up a big Marine army. You're going to have to go ahead and get the combat shield for certain, as well as it does actually have that stim, so that's definitely going to be helpful. But he's going to have to go ahead and get those upgrades and try and catch up in the army count. So you can see, you know, even though the economies are very similar, you have to remember that with the addition of mules, 4GG is going to be feeling pretty freaking comfortable. And of course, Stephano at the same time is going to have that nice little tech advantage. Having those Infestors out very early, they're definitely going to be building up a lot of that energy, and even getting out a couple more wouldn't be too surprised to see him potentially go ahead and try and go for a 4th expansion sometime in the next couple of minutes, just because I think he's definitely going to be wanting a lot of that gas. Now, in the meanwhile, let's go ahead and take a look again at 4GG's upgrades. We do see 1-1 already finished for 4GG. Now, that's pretty standard. Kind of would be expecting that. At the same time, we don't see any upgrades on those siege tanks, as you know, he really did only start siege tank production just a little bit ago. We do see the armory actually finishing them just now, so he's going to go ahead and get that weapon level upgrade for the siege tanks. Is definitely going to be very helpful, especially against any kind of big baneling transition that we do see. Actually, Stephano going ahead and getting, you definitely want those banelings, and they work so well in conjunction with these investors, being able to lock down all of those marines and just force those banelings to hit. And in the meanwhile, going ahead and grabbing that 4th expansion. Actually, kind of interesting position for a 4th expansion. Generally, you end up seeing players go for a 4th expansion over here, actually going for a very fast 5th expansion. Now, I do kind of like this decision making out of Stephano, saying, hey, I'm going to grab an expansion over here and an expansion over here at the same time, and you know what? You can only really deny one of them, bar anything with a drop play, as long as he reacts in time. Should be able to deal with any kind of drop play. But of course, should actually be spotting this right around... No, actually, Stephano not really spotting that quite yet. The drop is going to go ahead and move over here, try and do as much damage to that, but the Zerglings are going to move ahead on in. But at the same time, I was saying, this is a nice little play from Stephano, taking 2 expansions on the far sides, because he thinks, hey, I'll be able to get up at least one of them. Now, he should know about this giant army barreling down. He even has a couple of marauders that mix in with those siege tanks. Oh man, it's going to be very difficult. We even see this drop over here. It's going to be very dangerous. We have to keep an eye on that in a little bit, but we do see 4GG forcing the cancel off on Stephano's expansion over there. Now, the nice thing, again, is that Stephano still has this expansion over here, but still, he has to worry about this giant army sitting right outside of his 3rd expansion. Now, he could set up a really nice flanking position over here. We do see the Zerglings actually coming in from this angle, and oh no, the banelings a little bit mistimed, coming in a little bit late, but these infestors also going to be taking a lot of damage, ends up losing a lot of those infestors. Does get a fantastic fungal growth off, and with only 1 medevac out. Oh man, it's going to be so difficult. It looks like the drop actually still sitting around, trying to find a good way to get out, but it looks like with this army coverage, it looks like he's not going to be able to get out. But in the meanwhile, 4GG moving straight on in, knowing they're taking up quite a bit of Stephano's army, and now we see 4GG moving in once again. They're going to be able to siege out the tanks over on this 3rd expansion. The 3rd hatchery is definitely going to go down, and that's going to put Stephano in a very, very precarious situation. We even see a 4th expansion looking to be taken out or go ahead and be taken from a 4GG. He's going to be sitting very comfortably economically. Honestly, he can just back out at this point and feel really, really comfortable as long as he can get home. But with this ultra mobile force from Stephano, we have to be very careful about how he decides to retreat or how he decides to aggress. And it looks like aggress is going to be the option that he goes for, and now he's sieging up the tanks. He does not want to be caught unsieged with this army, and you know, even though he does have a very, very scary army, even has a couple of marauders mixed in to deal with those ultralists, he still has to be so careful not to be caught unsieged, as that could just basically spell the end of this army, and he still has to be very careful about the counter swing that Stephano could end up doing. Now the creep is going to be going ahead and spreading over there, denying that force for a little bit, but we do see a nice little drop play into the main, and now we do see the ultras charging in actually a flanking position from Stephano. This is going to work out beautifully for him as these ultras start cleaving their way through all of those marines. But again, those marines and marauders on the high ground be able to do a lot of damage. And oh my god, if they get the snipe off, I don't think they will. No, they will not get the snipe off on the kindness plane, which is so important for Stephano, sitting on those +3, +2, soon to be +3, +3 upgrades actually. But actually, really, it would have been a terrible situation for Stephano, as he's already very, very, very much down and out in this game. And, you know, he needs everything that he can get, and he's going to go and wait for these kindness planes, wait for a couple of these banelings to morph in, and just go for it. He is so far behind, having lost that 3rd expansion, having to cancel that 4th expansion, only really now being able to mine from this expansion over here. And we actually see that drop meeting up with this drop, and they're both going to be sitting over here and just saying like, hey, what's up? Maybe now that we're both trapped over here, we'll be able to do some damage. That's going to be a very difficult situation for them. But in the meanwhile, we do see a nice little play from 4GG, clearing out a lot of that creep, and that's definitely going to be very, very important, as he wants to deny as much creep. That's going to delay Stephano for a little bit. Stephano moving around. I think he's not entirely sure what he wants to do right now. He's going to go ahead and try and grab both of these expansions at the same time, and the medevac's still sitting over there. Okay, cool. That's a cool story, bro. And meanwhile, we see +3 upgrades coming out for 4GG. He's going to have to catch up in that upgrade count with that Bio Ball, as well as that, I guess... Oh, actually, hold up, the Marines and Marauders, or I guess just Marines, finally popping out over here. Now they're going to go over to the natural expansion, realizing they can't really do too much damage over at that 4th expansion. And oh my god, look at this positioning! This is such good positioning. At the same time, I want to say, the 4GG is moving around it. Oh my god, is this Ultras going to get picked off by just a Marine Force? No, it looks like finally able to clean it up with those Zerglings, but look at this. This Ultra is actually blocking all these Zerglings from coming out. Oh my god, 4 Marines are all just going to be able to do so much damage to this army just because of this one Ultra. And at the same time, 4GG able to utilize this opportunity to go ahead and pick off this 4th expansion over here. Oh my god, this is going to be a huge blow to StephAno, and now finally the drop is picked off eventually. But at what cost? StephAno, with a little bit of multi-pronged harassment, having to deal with that, I mean, is not quite able to do it appropriately and is able to, or ends up losing off that 4th expansion. That's so important. He needs all the bit of economy that he can get right now. You can see that really he's going to be in a very precarious situation. He's going to go ahead and make a couple of those banleys, and I honestly feel like he just has to go for it. I don't think that he can really wait around too much longer, but look at this positioning that 4GG has against StephAno's army. StephAno has a very melee-oriented army. We can see it Banelings, Zerglings, Ultralists, and, you know, as well as with a couple of Infestors. But look at this positioning. You can see that StephAno's going to have to move up against these rocks through this choke over here with Ultralists and Zerglings and Banelings, or move over here. Well, I guess this position much less defended. I think that's definitely going to be the key place where you can try and go for it. But oh my god, actually losing the 2 evolution chambers doesn't look like it's actually going to matter too much, considering all these units are sitting on +3/+3, but losing this natural expansion will be a huge deal. Even losing the gas guys is a huge deal. But now we do see StephAno's army coming in. This is do or die. He needs to defend this push and crush it amazingly well. But it looks like he's actually doing a very, very good job. But is it going to be enough? He still has quite a few Ultralists left over, and 4GG is very much down in supply now. But at the same time, StephAno also lost quite a bit of supply with that army. Even a drop going down over here. Oh my god, is he going to be able to pick off this 4th expansion? That could be a huge win for 4GG, but no. Looks like 4GG is going to actually be forced to pick up and leave. So now 4GG once again sitting so well economically. We can see 76 SCVs and all of these mining bases around the map. And what does StephAno have? He has this, and this is barely mining. This expansion is mining, but this expansion barely, not really mining, not even mining from the gas geysers. Oh man, only mining from the 2 gas geysers in his main and over at this 3rd expansion. It's going to be so rough for StephAno to try and come back in this game. And now we see round number, God knows how many, and it's going to be very difficult. StephAno charging in with the Ultralists and the Zerglings in the Baneling. This is seriously his last-ditch effort to try and come back in this game. He is going to crush this army from 4GG, but now we see 4GG retreating with the Marine Marauder Ball. Oh my god, StephAno might actually, if he can somehow make some kind of miracle happen and take out 4GG's army, he can make some kind of attempt to come back in this game. He's going to go ahead and take out this expansion over here, and that's definitely going to help out a little bit, but the Ultralist count is not going to be really replenished at this point. And the amazing Fungal Ghost blocking down all those Marines and Marauders, the Ultras, with those splash damage. Please, is able to do so much damage. But now we see the Marines and Marauders stemming and retreating back up to the safety of this ramp. This choke that's going to be so scary for these Ultras. And oh my god, StephAno forced on the retreat, knowing he cannot move up over there. He needs to move over to this expansion or something and try and do as much damage as possible while he tries to re-secure this expansion over here. And in the meanwhile, look at this. 4GG with this giant macro Terran economy is going to be able to replenish it immediately. Look at it. He is already maxed out on StephAno. Even though he got the amazingly favorable engagement, it's just not able to do anything. And look at that. Even with those SCVs being picked up, he maintains that 200 to 200 or 199 whatever max supply army just because he is already that much queued up in that production, just waiting to say, hey, I'm waiting for you to kill off some units so I can go ahead and replenish them with full health units. So look at this. His medevac count is insane. And oh my god, another drop. As I was about to say, the medevac count allowing to utilize all those drops, even be able to pick up that expansion one more time. So what does StephAno have to come back in this game? It's basically going to just be the army he is sitting on. The one advantage he does have is that a lot of 4GG's army is picking up into those SCVs. So if you can somehow get a big win with this army and just counterattack, that's his only shot. We do see the Ultras coming in. Oh no, they're coming in a little bit too early as a flanking position. Ultras are just a little bit too far behind us. Some great fungal growth going down, but the Medivacs are going to start healing all of those Marines and Marauders up, and they care not for their frivolous attempts for those Ultras to try and do some kind of flanking maneuver. The Ultras not even able to get out that flank, and now we see the natural expansion is completely cleaned out. The Baneling nest going down, so no more Banelings, soon to be no more Ultras. The Ultras cavern picked off as well, and now with all these units over here in the main, Stephano's going to be in such a terrible position. I think he's going to have to tap out very soon. We could see 4GG moving on to the semifinals at Dreamhack Valencia. There's the well played from Stephano and the GG. Good luck, buddy. These are both teammates, so wishing each other luck. And that is going to spell the end of this best of 3 series from Dreamhack Valencia quarterfinals. And wow, the round of 8, it looks like Millennium's 4GG advances on over his opponent his teammate 2-1. And he's going to go on to face some very, very top-notch players. It is going to be I believe he is almost destined to face a Korean in the semifinals at least. But we're going to have to wait and see and check out how these players are going to be doing in the following games, as I'm going to be casting a couple more games from Dreamhack Valencia, as they were so fantastic as to release all of the replays. I mean, I'm casting this game on the same day that the finals happened. I mean, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Dreamhack, for releasing all of that. And thank you so much again to all the players and everything. And thank you to the viewers who are checking out these replays, as these are pretty fantastic games. So again, if you enjoy these commentary in any capacity whatsoever, please go ahead and check out some of my other videos. Go ahead and like and subscribe and comment on my videos. It definitely helps me out. Give me any feedback also if you feel like there's anything I need to improve on in my casting style or any of the production style stuff. And also submit your replays that you want casted over to feardragon64@gmail.com. And one other thing is I'm going to be casting in the underrated team league. You can go ahead and Google it, check it out. They have an awesome trailer up as well, I believe, over on their YouTube channel, which I actually don't know off the top of my head. Ooh, that's a little bit embarrassing. But if you go ahead and look it up, I'm sure you can find it. And yeah, I'm going to actually be casting for that. I believe that the games are starting on October 1st. So I will not be casting on October 1st, but I believe it is 7 p.m. Eastern on October 1st. It's going to be 2 other casters, as well as 9:30 p.m. We're going to have a different set of games. It's going to be a team league. We're going to have a bunch of really awesome teams that are a little bit underrated, pun intended, such as a Team Light, Team Western Wolves, I think a VVV is in it. I could be mistaken about that, but yeah, some really awesome teams going to be playing in there. So go ahead and check those out. I don't actually know what days I'm going to be casting quite yet, but check it out and you can find out, and check me out in my live stream form, as well as casting with a awesome partner. So anyways, that's enough out of me. This has been a very long game. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and I will see you guys next time.